Hello and good morning to those of you who've joined us, and we will shortly begin the session. Just wanted to reiterate that all questions, which I understand might be pressing, we will take all your questions at the end of the session. The Q&A box is always active, um, so please drop in your questions there, and do let us know your name and your mobile number, contact details along with it so that our team can promptly reach out to you. Thank you all for joining us, and let's just wait for a few more minutes to accommodate some more participants. Thank you so much. Hello, Anshuman. A very good morning to you. And I'll quickly introduce Anshuman to all those who've already joined us. So, Anshuman is the business head and of B2B and Housing Societies. And in today's session, he will guide you to uh, take your housing society towards solar in the most efficient manner. And let me also tell you that you are in the most expert hands as of this afternoon when it comes to taking a society solar. Uh, no better expertise than Anshuman to guide you through it. So thank you so much, Anshuman, for taking some time out for this session.
Thanks, Gavin, for arranging this. I see a lot of participants have already joined us. We'll
Yes,
just wait for like a couple of more minutes
absolutely.
for us to join. Tab tak just to ask, is there a preferred language in which you want to conduct? Generally, I prefer to use a mixture of Hindi and English, if that would be fine with everyone.
All the participants, please drop your preferences in the chat and we'll be happy to accommodate. मेरी हिंदी थोड़ी drama dole, but I'm
Thanks.
sure
Thank you so much.
Anshuman's
Just,
is much
just
better.
goes with how we converse in a normal, everyday world,
Yeah.
right? We, we prefer this session to be quite interactive.
Yeah.
So please keep sharing your questions or any additional thoughts that you have on the chat box as well. And if you have any questions, you can access the Q&A session. What I will do is after every session, I'll pause for a couple of minutes and we'll take the relevant questions then and there. And then towards the end, we'll also keep aside 10-15 minutes to answer any other questions that we have on our free flowing nation. Uh, while we wait for just a couple of more minutes, we'll start at 12:10 sharp. I think already we have a rich pool of people who have joined us. Just wanted to check how did everyone come to know about SolarSquare? I'm assuming some of you might have discovered us on online, whether that's on a Google search or through our YouTube channel, or you might have
To make
checked
this
our
to make
references.
this more interactive, I'll launch a poll for all those who wish to interact with this. And please tell us where you heard about us from. Is it social media, newspaper ads, you attended a previous webinar, or just sheer word of mouth? At the moment, Anshuman, I see word of mouth being the highest.
That's great. That's great. I think referrals are the best
Yeah.
pipelines. So I think we should get started. I'll just set the agenda clearly, right? The agenda of this exercise, this webinar, is based on our experience of working in this particular section for the last 5 years now, having held more than 250 housing societies go solar. एक जो हमें pain point has become very, very clear is that solar may there's so much information, right? And there's so much misinformation. How do we help, regulate everything in one particular place, right? Uh, Decision making for solar, anyways, is a very, big capex. It takes a lot of money to take solar. All the returns are fantastic. We'll cover some bits of it. But I think for a housing society, it is much more complex. right? Because generally in a housing society, the management committees, will take the baton key, we want to reduce our bills, we want to do something good, right? We want to do something for the environment also. So let us push everybody, can we take up this collective project? But then the decision making process is very involved, right? You have to make the right decision. You also have to convince the other residents, right? 200, 300 different perspectives you have to take collectively in your grasp. और सबको साथ में लेके चलना पड़ता है. So the purpose of this whole webinar, it is structured in a manner where we first talk about the 3-4 most crucial elements uh, जो हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज को समझना जरूरी है in terms of how do they qualify, how do they create their own requirement, how do they understand the whole solar aspect, what are the options available for them. Secondly, what are the best practices that we have seen societies adopt to ensure that societies can go solar? It's a high success parameter. And the third bit is, just the last bit is what we'll cover is, after everything we have explained, what is it that SolarSquare has to offer for you, right? So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Like I said, uh, today when we think about solar, right, for a housing society, there are 3-4 most key elements, most important questions that come in everybody's mind. First and foremost is, why should we even go solar? Right? Is it the right product for us? Right? What are the benefits? What are the break-even periods? What are the kind of returns am I looking at, when we're thinking of solar? The second bit is, because solar is such a big infrastructural project, right? It involves civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, like so many different moving parts to it, right? What are the things that as a society member, as a key decision maker, you have to keep in mind, right, when drafting your requirements? As a society, generally हर society के ये laws होते हैं that if you have undertaking any project, you have to take quotations from at least 3-4 vendors. We also encourage that कि आप multiple लोगों से inputs लीजिए, so that tomorrow when you're going for your AGM, when you're going for SGMs to take approval, everybody is on the same platform, right? Everybody is on the same point. उसके लिए आपको किन की चीजों का ध्यान रखना है, right? What are the key parameters? That is something that we'll care. We'll discuss what are the key things that you need to keep in mind to safeguard your savings. Now, solar mein you are investing, a significant amount of money, right? Lakhs, and sometimes for bigger societies also runs into crores of rupees. The break-even period varies from 2 years to 5 years, depending on the state that we are talking about, the tariff that we end up paying. How do we ensure that our solar actually gives us returns for the next 25 years? Right? So let's say somebody in Pune, in Maharashtra, Mumbai, their break even is around 2 years. But how do I ensure that I get very high returns over the next 23 years? For other parts of India, it's mostly around 4 or 5 years. How do I ensure that I get good returns, right? It's not only about breaking even. So those are the things we'll cover. And third and foremost is, what are the financial products that are available today to help you go solar much faster without investing a lot of your own money? So we'll cover all those parts, right? Quickly covering SolarSquare's journey. Like I said, we have been in the solar industry for the last 10 years. We have been single-mindedly focused on just doing rooftop solar. तो कई लोग हमसे पूछते हैं कि आप स्ट्रीट लाइट्स भी करते हो क्या, आप पार्क्स वगैरह भी लगाते हो? तो SolarSquare in the last 10 years has absolutely been focused on only rooftop solar projects, whether it is for our commercial clients, our housing society clients, और या फिर individual house owners. तो अगर आप SolarSquare का पोर्टफोलियो देखेंगे, वो 1.5 लाख रुपए के 2 किलोवाट 3 किलोवाट प्लांट से लेके 10 मेगावाट के 25-30 करोड़ के प्लांट पे भी लगाने का हमें एक्सपीरियंस है ओवर द लास्ट 10 years. We have operational across around 30 cities in India, across 8-10 states, where we have our own full stack team. In our housing society, we have primarily focused in Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Delhi NCR, Hyderabad, Nagpur, Nasik areas, right? When we talk about SolarSquare's journey, you can see our customers, right? You can primarily see we have worked with the management committees of all the top builders, all the top societies in India, right? Whether you're talking about Shapoorji Pallonji, Prestige Group, Lodha, Godrej, SNN, Satwa, Kumar, Montfort, Brigade, Century, Hiranandani. So these are all the projects that we have undertaken, not with the builders themselves, but with the housing societies, the RWAs who reside there. And this is across India, right? And then when we are talking about our commercial clients, you'll see a lot of big Fortune 500 companies have also trusted us, the likes of Reliance, Johnson and Johnson, Jindal Steel, Premier Energies, Panasonic, Swiggy, Force Motors. So we have a very rich and varied experience of installing solar across multiple parts of India in multiple geographies, etc. And that cumulative experience of knowing how to deliver a very high performing solar in multiple for multiple customers across multiple geographies is what differentiates us. This is just our presence map as of today. Like I said, more than 20 states is something that we cover. If you take out the eastern coast of India, the northeast and Jammu and Kashmir, we are basically set up plants everywhere, right? And we have our own set up teams which are present everywhere. We do not outsource most of our material. So right from our design to sales to installation to the operational part of it, even the government licensing and the maintenance, everything is in-house at SolarSquare because we inherently believe these every bit is very, very crucial to deliver a very good experience for our end customers. Over the last 10 years, we have run a cumulative revenue of more than 800 crores, a cumulative experience of 150 megawatts of our own full stack, turnkey projects that we have done across these things. Something that we are absolutely honored and proud about, and we obsess a lot, is our customer experience. SolarSquare is the highest rated and the most review rated solar company in India. We have more than 6,000 customers who have given us Google reviews with a 4.8 rating. Why does it matter to you? Is because ultimately in a investment which is as big as this, right? Customer reviews play such a big role. क्योंकि आप अपने एक्सपीरियंस दूसरों के एक्सपीरियंस पे बेस कर सकते हैं कि if so many different people have had this kind of a experience, is the company capable of delivering such kind of experience for us as well? The way I kind of put it out for most of our customers is like, think of it like even Taj Mumbai, right? Which is one of the most, like the first five-star hotel in India, something that is known globally for its customer service. This thing, even that struggles to maintain a 4.8 level of service, right? So this is something that we obsess about. This is where the whole company is structured, what all of us spend most of our time in. Again, a testament of what we do. So the government, when it released last February, they released an integrated platform for all solar related subsidies. It is a government platform called PM Surya Ghar Yojana. If you just go on Google और आप type करेंगे आपको ये link मिल जाएगा. There, the government, from a transparency, उन्होंने जितने भी वेंडर्स हैं, जितनी भी सोलर कंपनीज है, एंड इंडिया में आई थिंक मोर देन 2000 कंपनीज आर नाउ एंगेज्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट with different experience, different team segments. So the government lists down all the vendors which are operationally pan India and particularly in your area, right? तो अगर आप इस पोर्टल पे जाएंगे तो बहुत ही सिंपल तरीका है रजिस्टर करने का. यू जस्ट हैव टू पुट अप योर कंज्यूमर नंबर. आपके जो बिल में आपका कंज्यूमर नंबर आता है, यू जस्ट हैव टू एंटर दैट. There you will find a tab called vendors in my area. You click on that tab and you will see all the vendors who are operational in their area. What is their pan India installation number? What is the number of installations they have done in your particular area, right? And what is the rating? So if you see, we have done more than 10,000 installations within this particular subsidy program, right? And we have a lot of installations outside the subsidy program as well. But within this subsidy, SolarSquare has the highest number of installations across any player in India. And again, you can see we have more than 2,000 ratings with a 4.8 rating, or even on this platform, which is done by the customers themselves. So just a bit about SolarSquare. I'll get right into why societies should get solar. Okay, so this is the fun part, right? So when we analyze a society's common maintenance bill, right? When we look at what are the major components which contribute to that monthly maintenance expense that we get, around 40 to 60% of it is just electricity bills, right? Then 20 to 30% is taken by our water consumption. and the rest two are for, the safety, maintenance team, and amenities like MyGate, etc. that you pay up for. अगर हम इन चारों कंपोनेंट को एनालाइज करें, राइट, वाटर कंजम्पशन को कम करना to a certain extent is possible, but not to a large extent, right? What you can do is like invest a lot in harvesting systems. You can, thoda optimize your water consumption for, landscaping, etc. But after a beyond time, it's a very essential need. When we are talking about maintenance and security also, we can, reduce this amount by a small amount by, let's say, installing CCTV cameras instead of security guards, etc. But एक level के beyond इसको optimize करना is not possible, right? And hence we see this electricity bill is one of those consumptions जो कि आप up to 90% बिल्कुल reduce कर सकते हैं, right? It is the biggest pie of the whole consumption piece and something that you can easily reduce, right? The government, in its terms of incentivizing people to go solar, last year announced this ambitious plan of taking 10 million homes solar. Usi time pe they increase the subsidy also for housing societies, right? Now the subsidy that is given by the government is very, very substantial. It ranges, 18,000 rupees per kilowatt up to a size of 500 kilowatt. What it basically means is the government is subsidizing anywhere between 25 to 40% of your इन्वेस्टमेंट इटसेल्फ, राइट, जो आपके ब्रेक इवेंट्स को और कम कर दे रहा है, राइट. नाउ दिस इज अ डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर स्कीम. इट्स वेरी वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट. देयर आर सम डिलेज दैट कीप हैपनिंग हियर एंड देयर, वो पोर्टल में आईटी ग्लिच वगैरह आते रहते हैं, बट इट्स अ वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट स्कीम. I think more than 10 lakh customers have already gotten subsidy through this particular program, right? It's a very integrated program where the customer, the vendor, or the government, MNRE can also track the application status on real time. So there are नो पर्टिकुलर इश्यूज या डाउट्स आपके दिमाग में होने चाहिए, क्या सब्सिडी आएगा या नहीं आएगा. पहले आज से 1-1.5 साल पहले ये इश्यूज बहुत प्रोमिनेंट होते थे, बिकॉज हर स्टेट का डिस्कॉम जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी है, दे यूज्ड टू रन दिस प्रोग्राम, और उसमें बहुत सारी इनएफिशिएंसीज थी. नाउ एवरीथिंग हैज बीन डिजिटलाइज्ड, इट हैज बीन इंटीग्रेटेड इन वन पर्टिकुलर प्लेटफॉर्म, एंड द बेनिफिट्स आर डायरेक्टली ट्रांसफर्ड टू द बैंक अकाउंट ऑफ द हाउसिंग सोसाइटी, राइट. जिसकी वजह से सॉरी ये जिसकी वजह से सारा का सारा प्रोसेस हैज बिकम मच मोर स्ट्रीमलाइंड, वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट, एंड रियल टाइम. नाउ लेट अस लुक एट a case study. Let's say I am looking for a 100 kilowatt plant. Now a 100 kilowatt plant basically translates to a monthly electricity bill of, uh, where your consumption is 10,000 units a month, right? तो अगर आप देखें, that basically means आपका bill is running anywhere close to 60,000 rupees to 2 lakh rupees for places where we have a higher tariff. आपका 100 kilowatt plant का requirement है. A good heuristic to understand your solar capacity is whatever is your annual consumption. आप उस नंबर को 1400 से डिवाइड कर ले, या फिर ऑन अ मंथली लेवल अगर आप देखें आपके मंथ का जितना भी यूनिट कंजम्पशन है उसको आप 100 से डिवाइड कर लें. It will give you a rough idea of what is the plant size that you're looking for. So a 100 kilowatt plant, right, in Maharashtra. So under MSEDCL, which has the highest tariff across India, you end up paying electricity at a tariff of 21 rupees per unit, right? In other parts of India, it ranges anywhere between 7 to 12 rupees. But in Maharashtra, it is 21 rupees. So for a 100 kilowatt plant, you end up, savings 28 lakh rupees every year through solar, right? 18 lakh rupees का आपको गवर्नमेंट से सब्सिडी मिलता है. So your overall year one cumulative savings itself is 46 lakhs rupees, right? And because of that, your break even is anywhere between 1.5 years around that particular period. And then for the rest of the life of the solar plant, which is 25 years, you get free electricity. So cumulatively, this is the break even. अगर यही हम let's say we talk about Bangalore, the Bangalore में tariff ranges anywhere between 7.5 rupees. So आपका break even increases by threefold. So this 1.5 year thing becomes a 3.5 to 4.5 year break even period. So this is a cumulative, just a very back of the hand calculation in terms of what the ROI is for you going to look like. This is a very simple chart of what we discussed. like I said, depending on the tariff that you have, right? आपके break evens change होते रहते हैं. Because solar, whether we put it in Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, the output is going to be the same, the number of units that we are going to produce. उसके बाद हमारे कितने यूनिट्स है, दैट गिव्स अस द सेविंग्स दैट वी इंकर. तो अगर आप किसी में भी देखेंगे, राइट, इवन एरियाज वेयर योर एनुअल सेविंग्स आर वेरी वेरी यू नो लो, देयर आल्सो द सोलर ब्रेक इवन इज नॉट मोर देन 4 years. And that is where the benefit is. If you just think of it, right, in 4 years this product gives you a break even, and then you get like a 5-fold benefit over the next 25 years. This is where the magic is. This is where solar is the best investment that you can do with the society funds. अगर आप उसको FD में भी डालेंगे, you get like a 6-7% FD every year, right? Solar के benefits are at least 3 to 4x higher than that. And it's a very, if you take prudence, अगर आप थोड़ा in time invest करें in picking up the right solar, अगर आपका थोड़ा solar capex थोड़ा high भी जाता है, the returns are so well that you're assured guarantees for a very long time going forward. This is some of the examples of some of the societies that we had gone solar. So Shobha Dew Flower, this is a big society in Bangalore. They had gone solar, more than 4 years ago. So if you look at their savings, right, they have saved more than 50 lakh rupees, around 60 lakh rupees till now, in their solar savings. They have broken even within 4 years. And this was a time when even the subsidy didn't exist. So at that time, if they had gone solar now, they would have gotten a subsidy of upwards of 44 lakhs on a 253 kilowatt plant. So at that time, subsidy wasn't applicable. Still, they were able to achieve their break evens. You look at this society, Ganga Ishania. This is a typo. This is not Bangalore. This is Pune. So this society went solar 1 year back, and they have already broken even. Right. So this was one of the first societies to take benefits of the subsidy scheme. Another 235 kilowatt plant. They have already broken even. Right. So very, very quick break evens now with subsidy coming along. I'll just take a quick pause and see if you have some questions that you want to answer right away before I move to the next segment.
Anshuman, we have a few questions here.
Yeah.
One of them is whether structural engineers certificate required in case of waterproofing is what Jatin Parekh is asking.
So Jatinji, if I can just hold on to that question, we have a segment dedicated to structures, and this bit I'll answer it then and there. I think a question Kishore ji ka aaya hai, is the subsidy same across India and all states? For housing societies, the subsidy is the same across pan India. It is 18,000 rupees per kilowatt till the project size of 500 kilowatt. तो मतलब 90 लाख तक का कैप है सब्सिडी का, राइट? फॉर द रेसिडेंशियल सेगमेंट जो इंडिविजुअल हाउस ओनर्स है, उनके लिए सम स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स हैव गिवन एडिशनल सब्सिडी, है ना? तो फॉर एग्जांपल इंडिविजुअल हाउस ओनर्स फॉर अ 3 किलोवाट प्लांट गेट्स अ सब्सिडी ऑफ 78,000 रुपीज. उसके ऊपर सब्सिडी नहीं मिलता है, बट कुछ कुछ गवर्नमेंट्स लाइक उत्तराखंड, यूपी, राजस्थान हैज जस्ट लॉन्च्ड एडिशनल सब्सिडी. वो इंडिविजुअल हाउस ओनर्स के लिए वो 20-30 हजार रुपए का एक्स्ट्रा सब्सिडी इज अलाउड, बट फॉर हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज द सब्सिडी इज एब्सोल्युटली द सेम, राइट? So yeah, I think that
We
question.
also have another question, Anshuman, which is what is the maintenance cost yearly for this solar and housing society is what Mahesh ji is asking.
So Mahiji, I'll cover the maintenance part today, but just to give you an idea right here, the solar maintenance is a very crucial part of ensuring that your plant has a very long life and that it gives you high returns, but the cost is very, very low. Generally, आपके maintenance का cost is anywhere between just 1 to 2% of your investment per year, right? So it's not very high. This is not an industry जहाँ पे आपने बहुत सारा लगा दिया उसके बाद maintenance की वजह से आ रहा है, but it is plays a very crucial role. तो उसकी कॉस्ट बहुत कम है, बट राइट मेंटेनेंस इज एब्सोल्युटली क्रिटिकल, वरना उसके जो साइड इफेक्ट्स है, जो उसके इम्पैक्ट है, दैट इज मच हायर, एंड आई विल कवर दैट अ बिट गोइंग फॉरवर्ड. सो आई थिंक दिस इज द सब्सिडी बिट जो मैंने आपको बताया, वेरी वेरी सिंपल. जब आप सोलर जाते हैं, देन यू गेट रजिस्टर्ड ऑन दिस पीएम सूर्यघर योजना पोर्टल. यू गेट अ टोकन वेयर अगेंस्ट योर कंज्यूमर नंबर द गवर्नमेंट allocates a token number and allocates a part of the subsidy to you. जब आपका प्लांट सोलर चला जाता है, once the installation is done, once the commissioning is done, then this amount is transferred into your account within 60 to 90 working days. अब ये सब्सिडी अवेल करने के लिए, like I said, the process is very, very transparent, very, very smooth. There are only two things that you have to keep in mind. First point is कि सब्सिडी अवेल करने के लिए you have to use domestic content requirement, DCR solar panels. Now, what does it mean? Because ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का इनिशिएटिव है, दे ऑल्सो वांट टू प्रमोट इंडियन प्लेयर्स. उन्होंने मैंडेट किया है कि आपके जो सोलर पैनल्स है, they should be manufactured by an Indian solar company, somebody like a Premier, somebody like a Tata, Adani, Wari. But also more importantly, उसके अंदर जो solar cells लग रहे हैं, those solar cells also have to be Indian, right? So all the Indian players also, they have two type of solar panels. One is DCR, one is non-DCR. तो आपको अदानी का DCR भी मिलेगा, अदानी का non-DCR भी मिलेगा, depending on which solar cells they are using. Chinese solar cells जो नॉन डीसीआर सोलर पैनल्स में लगते हैं, दे आर मच चीपर देन द इंडियन डीसीआर सोलर सेल्स. परफॉर्मेंस वाइज देयर इज नो डिफरेंस, बट द ओनली डिफरेंस इज, अगर आप कॉस्ट में डिफरेंस देखें तो कॉस्ट डिफरेंस इज अराउंड 8,000 रुपीज, 9,000 रुपीज, 10,000 रुपीज पर किलोवाट चीपर. However, because the subsidy is 18,000 rupees per kilowatt, इस वजह से most of the people are now adopting DCR solar panels. The second thing that you have to keep in mind is आपका जो वेंडर है, he should be registered with the government of India with MNRE for availing subsidy. So like I said, how do you check that? You go into this portal, you log in. वहां लॉग इन करके आप वेंडर का नाम टाइप कर सकते हैं, आपको दिख जाएगा वो रजिस्टर्ड है या नहीं है. यू कैन ऑल्सो सी देयर हिस्ट्री. सो प्लीज एंश्योर व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट सब्सिडी यू टेक केयर ऑफ दीज टू थिंग्स. रिसेंटली ये आपको न्यूज पे भी बहुत मिलेगा. हो क्या रहा था, बहुत सारे लोकल प्लेयर्स वर चीटिंग द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. वो लोग क्या कर रहे थे, वो सोलर पावर प्लांट में नॉन डीसीआर सोलर पैनल्स लगा दे रहे थे, क्योंकि अब एमएनआरई ट्रैक्स योर सोलर पैनल विद द प्रोडक्शन डेटा. इसकी वजह से 16 वेंडर्स हैव बीन ब्लैक लिस्टेड, है ना, जिन्होंने डुप्लीकेट सीरियल नंबर्स यूज करे हैं, जिन्होंने मल्टीपल बार दे हैव यूज्ड नॉन डीसीआर सोलर पैनल्स. तो गवर्नमेंट नाउ हैज कम अप विद दिस होल क्राइटेरिया वेयर दे कैन ट्रैक दिस. So as long as you go with a registered vendor who has good enough experience working in this scheme, जिनका reputation अच्छा है, and you choose DCR solar panels, you will face absolutely no hassles, no issues with your subsidy program going forward. Now that the subsidy thing is kind of taken care of, we all are fairly comfortable with how the subsidy works. Let us now talk about what are the things that we have to keep in mind when we are talking about the safety and the performance aspect of solar, right? And this is where I saw a lot of questions coming around. So when we are talking about safety of a solar system, I just want to give you one picture, right? Generally, आप देखेंगे इंडिया में हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज आर वेरी वेरी ऑन अ एलिवेटेड प्लेटफॉर्म. जनरली आपके 20-30 फ्लोर्स की सोसाइटी है, विच बेसिकली मीन्स यू आर लुकिंग एट अ 80-100 मीटर्स एलिवेशन स्ट्रक्चर्स. Every solar panel weighs anywhere between 27 to 30 kgs, right? Now, if I'm talking about, let's say, even a 100 kilowatt plant, a 100 kilowatt plant will generally have around 180, 190 solar panels. So 180, 200, let's say on a round scale, we take 200 panels into 30 kgs, right? So we are talking about 6 tons of just the weight of the solar panels itself. And they are going to be put on a very height. तो कुछ चीजों का सबसे ज्यादा ध्यान रहता है, हाउ डू वी एंश्योर दैट द स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑन विच वी आर पुटिंग दी सोलर पैनल्स दे आर सेफ, राइट? आप लोगों को याद होगा अराउंड मे ऑफ लास्ट ईयर, राइट, इन मुंबई देयर वाज अ डस्ट स्टॉर्म जो आया था. एंड एज दैट डस्ट स्टॉर्म केम, अ लॉट ऑफ दीज बिलबोर्ड्स एंड स्ट्रक्चर्स, राइट, जिनकी अच्छी इंजीनियरिंग नहीं हो रखी थी, they fell and they caused a lot of material damage. Plus, unfortunately and very, very sadly, they also, some people had to lose their life. Can you quickly type on the chat box, according to you, what was the highest wind speed for that dust storm? If I can just have a quick response, let us see. याद होगा मेल ऑफ लास्ट ईयर आया था, lot of investigation went about it. If you can just type in your answers, according to you, what was the highest wind speed for that dust storm that we had seen in Mumbai? Before I reveal the answer. We so I don't see any answers. I think everybody is afraid to kind of answer that. But मैं just to give you an idea, the highest speed for the dust storm was 70 kilometers per hour, right? According to Indian standards, your solar structures have to be designed for at least a wind speed of 170 kilometers per hour. Sorry, 150 किलोमीटर पर आवर. इसका इंपॉर्टेंस ये है क्योंकि हर सिटी का जैसे अर्थक्वेक जोन डिफाइंड होता है, अर्थक्वेक जोन 3, 4, 5, उसके हिसाब से आपके स्ट्रक्चर्स का फाउंडेशन, कॉलम प्लेसमेंट, कॉलम स्ट्रेंथ डिफाइन होता है. वैसे ही सोलर में आपको विंड स्पीड के हिसाब से अपना सोलर सिस्टम डिजाइन करना पड़ता है. देर आर स्टैंडर्ड्स which are available for it. So there's a standard called Indian Standard IS 875 Part 3, which defines ki what are the components, what is the load distribution that you have to take. When you're designing your solar, please ask all vendors to submit you that report. So there's a stability report called STAT report. वो submit करना बहुत जरूरी है. Under STAT report होता क्या है, आप हर कॉलम का every piece of your structures उसका कितना वो weight निकाल सकता है. We measure that. It is so there's a term called utilization factor, which ranges between 0 to 1. The utilization factor of greater than 1 means कि उस section का load bearing capacity जितना है, you are putting more load than that, right? So please ensure that you ask for the STAT report and just check this utilization factor IS 875 part 3 के according है या नहीं, right? So that is one part of the safety aspect. The other aspect is now you are going to put up a operating power plant on your terrace, right? Everybody, all the society members are living under that particular structure. The operating voltages for most of the solar power plants in India is 700 to 1100 volt DC, right? This is a very high voltage power plant which produces electricity. How do you ensure कि यार उसमें जो भी components use हुए हैं, A, those components are of the right value, है ना, मतलब जो cables उसके लिए use होनी चाहिए, they are the right type from the right vendor. More importantly, उसका जो design aspect है और उसके जो connections है, those are foolproof, right? So इसके लिए भी internationally for solar industry, there's a standard called IEC 624461. You can see it on my screen also, right? So please ensure आपको societies वाले को भी जो comfort देना पड़ेगा कि भाई we have mandated कि the company will adhere to these standards. क्योंकि as decision makers, it is not possible for you to, get involved and check each and everything before the installation happens, during the installation, post installation, etc. Right? How do you ensure कि आप वो करें is only by putting up these demands first and foremost to your vendors कि भाई हमें ये requirement जरूरी है. The third aspect of it is the waterproofing thing. I think chat में someone had asked also. So answering it here. Now there are two type of solar installations that happen. One is called a penetrative model and other is called non-penetrative. Penetrative का मतलब क्या होता है? स्ट्रक्चर को स्ट्रेंथ देने के लिए हम आपकी टेरेस के मदर स्लैब में ड्रिल करके स्ट्रेंथ लेते हैं, राइट? नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस विद इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट इज most of the other vendors in India use something which is called a mechanical anchoring process, which is a very old process, right? Mechanical anchoring में क्या होता है? You drill a hole into the mother slab, generally 8 to 10 mm. उसके बाद आप उसमें एक mechanical fastener insert करते हो. Mechanical fastener is a rod which goes inside and then opens like a paw. It has metal gears which open up. These metal gears break into the RCC for grip. Now, इस process के there are two issues. First, because this is metal gear breaking into concrete, right? It leads to cracks within the concrete, right? The second problem that happens is because this is a solid interacting with another solid, it leaves air bubbles inside. Now, because of these cracks and through these air bubbles, you can face issues of water leakage tomorrow. What you have to ask your vendors is to ensure to give you something known as chemical anchoring. Now, in chemical anchoring, what happens is you drill a hole and then you use chemical anchoring, chemicals from giants like Hilti, Fisher, etc. You insert this chemical within these holes. This chemical basically fills any pre-existing cracks, expels all the air bubbles, और फिर आप इसमें एक simple rod डाल देते हैं. This rod binds between this chemical and the structure. This is the process which is used for all dams, etc. also. This ensures there's no water seepage within the structures. SolarSquare uses this chemical from a German company called Hilti. They are a 80-year-old European German company. But there are other players also like Fisher, etc. that you can use. But please ensure कि हम लोग chemical anchoring करें. For societies which are very, very old, मतलब, who are 10 years older or something, जिनको already are suffering through water leakage issues, there is another process. It is called non-penetrative method. इसमें क्या रहता है, without drilling inside the mother slab, आप mother slab के ऊपर ही you create a civil block and then you install your structures on the civil block, right? इस स्ट्रक्चर्स के बेनिफिट क्या है? आपको ड्रिल करने की जरूरत नहीं है, तो रेसिडेंट से अप्रूवल लेना आसान होता है. इसके डिसएडवांटेजेस ये हैं कि आपकी कॉस्ट बढ़ जाती है बिकॉज देयर इज एडिशनल कॉस्ट फॉर दिस सिविल ब्लॉक्स. ऑल्सो आपका जो नीचे का वॉकिंग एरिया वो थोड़ा रिड्यूस हो जाता है बिकॉज यू हैव टू क्रिएट दिस सिविल ब्लॉक्स. इसमें अगर आप you go for this non-penetrative method, one of the things that you have to understand and bear in mind is the weight of the civil block is very, very important. I have seen multiple installations pan India जहाँ पे लोग बहुत ही small rectangular podium बना देते हैं which doesn't have enough dead weight. Now the purpose of this anchoring is कि भाई जब wind आएगा that wind will uplift your solar structures, right? तो उसको एक downward pressure रहना चाहिए so that it doesn't get uplift. If my civil block is not heavy enough, वो भी उड़ के चला जाएगा. Right? So generally, this is something that you have to keep in mind कि, the civil block has sufficient dead load, right? उस पे कुछ हम हल्का dead load ना लगाए, otherwise this will fly. So this is with regards to, how to safeguard yourself against water leakage, etc. The fourth component of safety aspect is maintenance. Now, I have seen come across multiple cases where customers have been misinformed, saying that solar doesn't need maintenance. Now, there is no product, no power plant, no machinery which can run without maintenance, right? और ये तो बहुत ही high performance, high voltage system है. Not only does it require regular maintenance, it also requires specialists to maintain the plant. है ना? I'll tell you the reason. एक तो मैंने आपको बताया 700 to 1100 वोल्ट डीसी पे ऑपरेट करता है. तो आप प्लांट का मेंटेन भी करोगे तो डे टाइम पे करेंगे, क्लीनिंग करेंगे तो डे टाइम पे करेंगे व्हेन इट्स ऑलरेडी ऑपरेटिंग. उस टाइम पे अगर कोई लूज एंड्स वगैरह है, सो इट कैन कॉज शॉर्ट सर्किट्स, इट कैन डैमेज योर सोलर पैनल्स, कैन डैमेज योर सोलर प्लांट, बट इट इज ऑल्सो कैन बी फेटल फॉर द पर्सन हु इज ऑपरेटिंग. तो सोलर प्लांट्स को परफॉर्म करने के लिए यू नीड ट्रेन्ड पीपल हु आर यूजिंग प्रॉपर सेफ्टी गियर्स एंड हु हैव प्रॉपर सेफ्टी एलोकेशन ऑल्सो. सो आप इमेजिन करिए आपके सोसाइटी के टेरेस पे somebody is installing, वो भी इतने हाइट पे कर रहा है. Does he have enough safety gear to hold him back? You don't want to go in a scenario where some mishap happens. So these are some of the things that you can take care of. अगर आप ये इंश्योर करते हैं, then your solar plant will not give you issues later on. You will not face issues from safety aspect. The reason why we talk about safety standards here is क्योंकि आप किसी से भी मिलेंगे, everybody will say I will do the best job. मैं तो सबसे बढ़िया काम करता हूँ, right? Like everybody will end up saying that. But how do we ensure कि there's parity? This is why you get access to all these standards. So you can see some of the standards on your screen which you can comply, you can ask all the vendors to adhere to. ये आपको एक minimum level of safety and security तो दे देगा कि यार yes my vendor does it. वो इसको comply कैसे करता है वो आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा कि how do you ensure they comply to it. But these are some of the standards. Of course, there are multiple more things, but इतना technical हम कर नहीं सकते हैं. Just a snapshot of things that we can take care of. At the end of this session, we'll anyways share this, this presentation with you, so you can take a reference of all these uh, international standards, Indian standards, etc. Right. Next, do we have any questions right now?
We do have some questions,
Sure.
Anshuman. So I'll just quickly read some out. Harish ji had asked at the beginning, in break-even calculation, have you also considered maintenance and wear and tear costs as well?
Yes, Harishi. So, like I said, in solar, the maintenance cost is not very high. All our assumptions are with considering that itself.
All right. And Ajit ji is asking, are you guys considering cost of maintenance of the plant for the next 25 years?
So like I said, IJ, for the first 5 years, SolarSquare to anyways gives, but for the break-even period, the maintenance cost will not move your break-evens a lot. It is a very minuscule cost. वो सही तरीके से करना is more necessary. Like I said, maintenance cost is very, very low, but उसका impact is much, much higher, right? So from that perspective, it's very, very important.
We have Amit Kumar ji asking, which brand solar panel SolarSquare uses? Is it your own manufacturing or some other brand's panel?
So, Amiji SolarSquare doesn't manufacture its own solar panels. We work with multiple solar panel providers. And I'm very happy we stopped right here because I'm just going to cover what SolarSquare does. So, and what are the things that we need to take care of when we're talking about solar panels. So, SolarSquare works with multiple vendors, Adani, Premier, Navitas, Raison, Engro, a lot of them. But what is it when we are talking about solar panels, there are two things that you have to keep in mind. Three things actually, sorry. First is only buy tier one solar panels. When I say tier one solar panels, only buy solar panels from big players who have been in the industry for 5-10 years, जिनके product export भी होते हैं, which have a very high market acceptance ratio. In the last 3-4 years, a lot of new players have come in, जिनकी ना manufacturing line have stabilized, nor do they have a longer distribution segment. We don't really know about their performance. So one thing to take care is that. The second thing to take care is what is the technology of solar panels that you're choosing, right? Third important part is the EL imaging thing. And I'm very happy you stopped. I'll just cover the EL thing in the bit. वो EL imaging, ये EL testing क्या होता है, वो आपके लिए क्यों जरूरी है, that is something that I will cover. So SolarSquare, like I said, works with multiple partners. We do not have a manufacturing setup, but there are certain things that we do to ensure that even amongst these, you get the highest quality solar panels. I think somebody from Tamil Nadu asked a question, is it viable in Tamil Nadu? Absolutely, sir. Tamil Nadu is among the fastest growing states when it comes to solar adoption in India, right? So they started a bit late. The whole solar wave in Tamil Nadu started last year itself, but it is growing very, very rapidly. I think next question, water
Just
works
a
subsidy not given by government. Hitendraji didn't understand the question. Not quite sure on the water bit of it, but yeah, the subsidy here is for rooftop solar plant itself. I think Shivraja ji asked, what is the yield in terms of kilowatt per hour for 100 kilowatt? So the output of a solar plant varies from city to city, state to state. Generally, let's say in a place like Bangalore, your power plant will produce more than 1400 units per kilowatt. In a state like Delhi, which has a severe winter, a lot of air pollution, your solar power plant ends up producing somewhere close to 1300 units per year. In most of Maharashtra, the number varies between 1350 to 1450 units per year. So it kind of varies from state to state. It also depends on what is the shadow profile of the area. हमारी छतों पे generally there are a lot of shadow casting objects. तो अगर हमारे सोलर पैनल्स पे shadow आएगा तो हमारे जनरेशन को भी impact करेगा. But that is primarily the range. I think another question on Tamil Nadu that the tariffs are lower. Yes, sir, the tariffs are lower, but like I said, even at a 6-7 rupees tariff, your break even for a housing society is 4 to 5 years, right? Generally, what we advise is that for solar adoption, you do not put up excess capacity. You put up capacity which is for your own use. तो जिसकी वजह से आपको यूनिट एक्सपोर्ट करने की जरूरत पड़े ही ना. As of today, all Indian states are still working under the net metering policy, where on a daily level, any excess units are, adjusted with your nighttime consumption. So, आपकी viability पे, it won't have a very big impact. Ajit sir had mentioned some players also obtained subsidy for non-DCR setup in the past. Ajit ji, like I said, there are some khurafati people who keep finding these things, but the government has put down their foot very strongly on this, right? Something that we absolutely do not, encourage if things are happening, that ways. But yes, like I said, initially, these instances have happened, but the government has broken down. So a lot of these customers nowadays are not getting subsidies. So a lot of news that you hear, ki, the government is already subsidies because of these small incidents here and there that keep happening. Again, Ajit ji have mentioned that Topcon bifacial panels weighs more than 30 kgs. Ajit ji, bilkul sahi hai. So Topcons mein there are two type of products. There's a glass and transparent backsheet Topcon, and there's a glass Topcon. The weight of glass Topcon solar panels is around 30 to 32 kgs. Is it possible? Pavan ji ka question hai, is it possible to invest the amount A person on A's friend rooftop solar based on their agreement? Bilkul, Ajit, Pavan ji, it is possible. I will cover this in more detail as the session goes around. Then there is question, I have a Solis inverter, data logger is damaged, stuck in inverter. I need help to set right the issue to get all the generation data on my mobile. This thing. So Kishore ji, please, sorry, Krishna Kumar ji, please share in. I think आपने register कर लिया होगा. Post this webinar, our maintenance team, our technical team will get in touch and help resolve any issue that you are facing before. And Kishore ji has asked whether solar roof can be sealed so that it acts like roof or terrace during rainy season as well. Kishore ji, it cannot be sealed on multiple areas. Primarily because your solar panels need air ventilation for higher performance, क्योंकि उनको भी cool होने का जरूरत पड़ता है, right? If you want like a segment जो आपको water, it prevents water also seeping in, it is best to create like a metallic sheet structures on your terrace, and then you can install solar over there, right? Kishore ji has again asked calculations were for on-grid with BESS. Kishore ji, so BESS, BESS is battery-enabled storage solutions. Our calculations were with net metered on-grid system without battery solutions, right? With battery, of course, usage depends on your particular requirement, and hence it moves these things. I would like to so Prashant ji has asked whether societies can get their solar plants insured. Yes, Prashant ji, the solar power plants can be insured. It is generally an annual insurance that happens on an annual basis. The cost is also very, very low. The cost of insurance is somewhere between 0.1 to 0.15% per year. So very, very low, but that is something that we advise all our customers to take. Gopalji has asked, is the subsidy available one time or can we gradually install and avail in tranches? Gopalji, you can avail subsidy in tranches. A lot of our customers, rather than putting up a 500 kilowatt plant, they first put up a 200 and then advance these requirements. On this platform, I just share, SolarSquare currently is installing the biggest housing society solar plant in across India. It is for a society called Raheja Vistas in Powai, Mumbai. So last year they had installed a 60 kilowatt plant with us. Now they are going to install 750 kilowatt plant. On top of that, you can take it in tranches. The cap is for 500 kilowatts. So you will not get subsidy above 500 kilowatts. Another thing to keep in mind is that subsidy is time capped, right? So the government has given a 3-year window, out of which 1 year has already lapsed for this subsidy. They have an allocated budget. So as long as that window is available, so then, you can, of course, avail subsidy multiple times. Surenji has asked, SolarSquare provides string inverters. Do you also provide macro inverters? Will it qualify in the subsidy program? Bilkul Surenji. SolarSquare actually does most of its solar installations with power optimizers, micro inverters itself. Like I said, there is no problem in the technology of inverters that you use for your solar installations. You're happy to take care of that. The only cap is in terms of the vendor should be registered and we have to use DCR solar panels. Somebody has asked whether the government of India allows on-grid or off-grid also. So subsidy is only applicable for on-grid solar system as of today, right? Mayur ji has asked any plans to expand in Nagar? Absolutely, Mayur ji. For housing societies, we do cover Nagar as well in Maharashtra. For individual power plants, house plants, we are not currently operational there. Gopalji has asked, can you share some societies reference in NCR? So Gopalji, as of today, SolarSquare does not have a housing society in NCR. We are just starting our operations there. We have a lot of our commercial power plants out there. So, for example, we have done for Jindal in Palwar near Delhi. So we have a lot of commercial plants in and residential power plants. So in Delhi, we have around 300 individual house owners in NCR region who have taken solar from SolarSquare. We have some commercial plants also, but we do not yet have a housing society there. We are looking for our marquee project there as well. The first housing society that we'll take and we can put up. I hope it's yours. Uh, Mitul ji has asked, can the society cover individual flats as well? Yes, absolutely. So generally, in a segment, there's something called as virtual net metering, where you can put up power plant for the society's common area and for individual house owners only. The only problem there is, generally, अगर आप देखेंगे, housing society का tariff is always much higher than an individual's tariff. और जनरली हमारी हाउसिंग सोसाइटी में स्पेस लिमिटेशन होता है कि वहां पे हाउसिंग सोसाइटी के कॉमन एरिया के कंजम्पशन के लिए हमें सोलर पावर प्लांट की स्पेस कम पड़ती है. बट इन केस that case is available, individual house owners can also put up solar there. There is absolutely no issue. I think that's most of it. So I'll quickly jump into the other part. Very, very glad we were able to answer a lot of these questions. I can see how involved in this particular process are we. So मैं modules की बात कर रहा था. I was talking about solar panels. So like I said, pick out tier 1 solar panel brands, very, very crucial. But more importantly is to know what is hides inside your solar panel. So like I said, every solar panel has 144 solar cells within it. These solar cells are very, very brittle and, the breadth of them is, thickness is lesser than a human hair, right? So to test how good your solar panel is, there is one industry standard test which is called electroluminescence testing, EL testing. In an EL testing, what you do is you take a solar panel, take it to a dark room, and you reverse feed current into it. So you basically, in a normal operating problem, what happens is you have a solar panel, light falls on it, and it produces electricity. To test whether the solar panel is properly functioning, it has no damages, you reverse feed the current inside the solar panel, and then you check whether all the parts of the solar panel are illuminated or not. So on your screen, right and left, you can see images of EL testing of some panels on factory level. In the center, you can see a live EL imaging of a solar panel installed on a terrace. Isme all these dark spots that you are seeing, right? Now, these are the places where the panel is damaged, right? These are something which are called as micro cracks. Now, because of this micro cracks, there are two disadvantages that will happen. A, the output of your solar panels will come down. Secondly, these damages can also cause you issues when we're talking about warranties later down the line, right? So ये check करना बहुत जरूरी है. I will just quickly take 1 minute and try to play this video if I can. I don't think so. This video is running. Just give me 1 second. I'll play it on another channel. Sorry, technical issues keep coming in between. I'm so sorry for this. I hope my screen is visible to everyone, right? So this is an electroluminescence testing test. Important क्या है देखिए, if you are buying from a good solar panel brand across, because the technology is kind of stabilized on the factory floor, everybody's panel is almost the same quality, right? Problem क्या होती है, in a manufacturing setup there are multiple grades of output that come. As a consumer आपको नहीं पता आपको कौन से grade का मिला हुआ है. Secondly, जब फैक्ट्री फ्लोर से सोलर पैनल्स निकलते हैं, दे आर पुट इनटू बिग क्रेट्स, वुडन क्रेट्स, पैक्ड प्रॉपर्ली. बट व्हेन दे गो इनटू द वैल्यू चेन, वो पहले एक बड़े डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास आता है, वेयर दे ओपन द क्रेट्स एंड देन दे सेल इंडिविजुअल सोलर पैनल्स. वहां पे पैनल पे डैमेज होने के बहुत चांसेस होते हैं, बिकॉज इफ यू डो नॉट स्टोर दीज पैनल्स प्रॉपर्ली, इफ यू डोंट ट्रांसपोर्ट दीज पैनल्स प्रॉपर्ली, इफ यू डोंट मेंटेन दिस, इंस्टॉल दीज पैनल्स करेक्टली, आपको बहुत सारे माइक्रो क्रैक्स का इशू आ सकता है. दीज इशूज आर नॉट विजिबल टू द नेकेड आई. वो ग्लास पे आपको नहीं दिखेंगे, right? So I'll quickly play this video. You can see if this initial pressure that is being put anywhere on the solar panel, you can see the distress, these dark areas that develop, right? Now these dark areas can happen at any moment. Improper handling के जैसे हुआ, हमने transportation के time पे we didn't take care in terms of how we are transporting this thing. Uh, in trucks, etc. A lot of these solar panels are transported loosely. These cause these issues later on. जो आपको मैंने pictures दिखाई थी. Right. So I hope this video gave us some insight on these things. So what you should ask from each of your vendors is to submit the you should ask all your vendors to submit to you the EL image of every single solar panel, right? That is very, very crucial to ensure that your solar panels are working fine, that you do not find these damages, right? Now, very, very recently, just last month, there was this report which had come. This was from an international testing agency, which found that 22% of solar panels manufactured in India had production effects. These are not defects after overtime, but during production cycle itself. And these are multiple reasons why that happened. अगर आप इसमें भी देखेंगे इमेज पे, ये EL image पे, these are not visually available. So please ensure that when you're buying a solar system, you mandate key for every single solar panel that is going to be installed on your terrace. You get EL image for that solar panel. That is the only way to safeguard yourself against damaged products. Right. So we'll quickly take a pause. If there are any other questions that we have, we'll answer it here before we move to the financing part. I think a lot of questions were there around it. Cool. I think we have answered most of the questions, so I'll quickly move ahead. So now let's talk about financing. So now we have understood why we should buy solar. We have understood what are the things that we need to take care while buying solar. Now let us say, okay, I want to get solar. How do I finance it? Right. So there are basically three ways of financing your solar consumption, right? First is capex. आपकी society का अपने पास funds हैं. You use that funds to pay the vendor and get subsidy, etc. Pros क्या है? This has the highest ROI because you are utilizing your own funds, quickest ROI. बट इसके कुछ कॉन्स है, बेसिकली आपकी लिक्विडिटी क्रंच हो जाता है, राइट? यू माइट टुमारो नीड दोस फंड फॉर समथिंग एल्स. समटाइम्स द सोसाइटी माइट नॉट इवन हैव दोस फंड्स अवेलेबल विद देम. द सेकंड ऑप्शन इज ओपेक्स. OPEX is also something called as RESCO model. Now, what happens in this particular model is the society just pays us minimum, security deposit amount to a third party investor. The investor sets up the solar power plant on your terrace, right? And then you sign an agreement with that investor that for every unit of electricity that you produce, you will pay him a fixed tariff. So let's say you as a consumer, you are paying electricity of 10 rupees. You sign you say ki I don't have money. You pay a minimum security deposit of 10%. The rest is invested by the third party. You decide ki over the next 15 years, for any unit of electricity produced, I will pay that person 8 rupees. Right? इसके बेनिफिट क्या है? आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत कम है, राइट? थर्ड पार्टी इज डूइंग इट. द कॉन्स ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर मॉडल इज थ्री फोल्ड. पहला, अंडर द रेस्को मॉडल टुडे, द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया डजंट प्रोवाइड एनी सब्सिडी. I know, just like when we were talking about DCR solar panels, some companies claim कि they will be able to avoid it. Again, it is something which is playing against the government's mandate service. Government ने एक ड्राफ्ट पॉलिसी निकाला है कि they will bring this policy sometime in the future, but as of today there is no subsidy on रेस्को. तो आपका जो 30-40% जो गवर्नमेंट से सब्सिडी आ रहा था, वो आपको रेस्को में उसका बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. द सेकेंड इज दैट the third party investor in a RESCO model generally looks at a return on investment of 25 to 35%. Right? तो आपकी जो भी सोलर सेविंग्स है, उसका 25 से 35% आप एक इन्वेस्टर को ही देने वाले हैं. राइट? एंड हेंस जो आपकी सोलर्स के सेविंग्स आने वाली है, वो आपको इतनी सारी एक्रू होगी नहीं, जो ब्रेक इवन आर मच मच हायर, राइट, इवन अगेंस्ट दैट 10% सिक्योरिटी डिपॉजिट. द थर्ड ऑप्शन which captures the best of both worlds is a loan option. Now you can take a loan from government banks, right? Up government banks, wherever you have your own funds parked, you can take a loan from that particular bank also. Generally, they cover 80 to 90% of the plant cost. Or let's say, अगर आपके पास फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट ज्यादा नहीं है, you cannot take an OD facility. You can also take loans through a lot of NBFCs that are granting loans to CHS customers. Benefit क्या है इसमें? The interest rates are very, very low. Generally, a bank will give you a loan at somewhere anywhere between 10 to 12%. अगर OD facility है तो around 8%, 9% के around वो पड़ता है. If you're talking about an NBFC, the NBFC will give you a loan anywhere between 17 to 20%. The benefit is that under loan, because the plant belongs to the society from day zero, right? Plant आप ही का है. In RESCO and OPEX model, the plant belongs to the investor. You are just using the electricity from there. Under a loan agreement, the investment is yours, the plant belongs to you, and hence the subsidy also comes to you. तो जनरली इसमें क्या है, जितना आपका डाउन पेमेंट आ रहा है उतना तो आपको गवर्नमेंट की सब्सिडी वापस मिल जाती है, जब उससे ज्यादा ही आपको गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडी मिल जाती है. एंड नेक्स्ट, जो आपका मंथली ईएमआई बनता है, generally that monthly EMI will be lower than your current electricity bill and current lower than the savings that you will see through solar. So in this particular model, without utilizing any government, any society funds, you can actually start saving from day zero. मैं आपको just एक example देता हूँ. Let's say I'm buying a 1 crore plant. That 1 crore plant customer, let's say in a month, is paying an electricity bill of 4 lakh rupees, right? How its economics will look is, he will end up paying, just 2 crore plant, let us say it is 400 kilowatt plant, right? This 400 kilowatt plant, let's say with a 30% down payment, he ends up paying 60 lakh rupees at down payment और बाकी सारा loan EMIs करवा लेते. So he ends up investing 60 lakh rupees from the society funds, for example. The subsidy on a 400 kilowatt plant, right, is 72 lakh rupees. So once the plant is operational, उसके 60 to 90 days में उनको ये 72 lakh rupees का subsidy आ गया. So net they invested 60 lakh rupees, they got 72 lakh rupees from the government of India. Earlier they were paying an electricity bill of 4 lakh rupees. Now they will end up paying an electricity bill of 50,000 rupees and an EMI of 3 lakh rupees. So net they will also save 50,000 rupees on their monthly bill. And when the tenure of the EMI gets completed, then of course the whole savings comes to them. So on a monthly level, they are saving 3.5 lakh rupees. They are paying an EMI of 3 lakh rupees, so net saving of 50,000. Plus, वो जो down payment 60 lakh का था, उसके against they have gotten a subsidy of 72 lakhs. This is just a overall simplified calculation that I'm sharing with you. Of course, it depends from case to case, but this is how it will look. And hence, this is like the most of the societies that are today going solar are using this method. You can either, अगर आपके पास अच्छे खासे FD amounts है with banks, you can take an OD facility which is the cheapest, या आप लोन अगेंस्ट मशीनरी ले सकते हैं फॉर बैंक्स इफ दे अलाउ, थोड़ा इसमें रेजिस्टेंस आता है. और यू कैन ऑल्सो टेक इट थ्रू NBFC, इवन देयर योर मतलब even at 70 to 20% interest rate, solar benefits are very high that you will be able to push it through. Right. These are just the graphs which are kind of showing it to you. जो ZIP है, that is the loan product. इसमें अगर आप देखेंगे तो इसमें आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट ही नेगेटिव है, बिकॉज द सब्सिडी अमाउंट जनरली इज मच हायर देन योर डाउन पेमेंट and your returns are quite high. So yeah, so that brings us to the end of the finance options. We'll just take a pause and see if there are some questions that we have to answer. I think Mitul ji has asked, what is the break-even time in Mumbai? So Mitul ji, in Mumbai there are 3 different discoms. Tata bhi hai, Adani bhi hai, and MSEDCL bhi hai. Under MSEDCL, your break-even is around 1.5 years. Under Tata and Adani, you're looking at a break-even of around 2 years. क्योंकि उनके टैरिफ थोड़े कम है. सो टाटा जनरली कम्स एट 15-16 रुपीज, अदानी कम्स एट 12-14 रुपीज. तो वहां पे ब्रेक इवेंट्स आर अप टू 2 years. Under MSc DCL, so you break even within 1.5 years. Ajit ji has asked, can EL testing be done self at home before vendors can install? So Ajit ji, for doing the EL testing, there's a whole setup that you have to build. You have to create a dark room. You have to get the right equipment. So it is not possible to do it. The way to do it is to ensure कि factory पे जो EL testing है वो आपके पास आए, and then check how the material is being transported to your site, right? आप अपनी साइट पे थर्मल इमेजिंग करवा सकते हैं. So thermal imaging is a watered down version of EL imaging where you basically at night you use a thermal imaging camera to capture again the areas where electricity is being produced, etc. It doesn't give you 100% error visibility, but 50-60% जो major damages है वो thermal imaging से भी पता चल जाते हैं. That you can do on site.
Anshuman, we have a age-old question that I'm sure you must have been asked 1,000 times, but is a very common question among a lot of our customers. Gopalji has asked, what happens in the monsoon season or cloudy weather?
Wow. So गोपाल जी, सोलर इज अ वेरिएबल सोर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, राइट? जितना हमारा सनलाइट आता है उतना ज्यादा आपका सोलर प्रोड्यूस करता है. When we are talking about installing the solar capacity, we look at a over a 12-year period आपका consumption कितना. So we look at a whole 1 year's consumption. The thought being कि in summers your production will be higher, during monsoon your production will be lower, and during winters depending on cloudiness आपका production higher रहता है. Now generally in a net metering system, in summers the excess units that you produce you can use it to offset your consumption during monsoon period. So मान लीजिए अप्रैल मई जून में आपका कंजम्पशन है 10,000 यूनिट का, यू आर एंड अप प्रोड्यूसिंग 12,000 यूनिट्स. तो अप्रैल मई जून में यू बेसिकली गेट 6,000 यूनिट्स एडिशनली स्टोर्ड क्रेडिटेड अगेंस्ट योर कंजम्पशन. मॉनसून में आपका कंजम्पशन रहा 10,000 यूनिट का, बट आपका प्रोडक्शन लेट्स से इज ओनली 4,000 यूनिट्स. देयर यू कैन यूज दिस एडिशनल 2,000 यूनिट्स टू सेल. जो मैंने आपको नंबर्स बताए थे बिटवीन 1,300 टू 1,450 यूनिट्स, दीज आर एन एवरेज नंबर फॉर अ 12 ईयर पीरियड, 12 मंथ पीरियड. समर्स में वो थोड़ा ज्यादा आता है, मानसून में थोड़ा कम हो जाता है. दिस इज द रीजन वाई सोलर प्रोडक्शन वेरीज फ्रॉम साइट टू साइट, वेरीज फ्रॉम स्टेट टू स्टेट इन इंडिया. आई होप दैट was able to answer. I think we got some leads also with this.
Yes.
Shalenji has asked, we are a society in the Noida with 26 buildings, requirement of 1.2 megawatts. What is the generation? So Shailendra ji, Noida, thankfully, thoda less pollution compared to like Delhi or Gurgaon. I am from Delhi itself, so can vouch for it. You can look at a production of anywhere between 1,300 to 1,350 units, depending on the shadow profile. But that is something that you can look. The benefit of Noida is कि Noida में flat owners के individual units नहीं होते हैं. So basically, you get like a cumulative thing. So you can get a big subsidy of directly up to 500 kilowatts, which can be used for distributed among residents' benefits also. So yeah, so that is something that you're looking at. Again, your break evens will lie somewhere between 3.5 to 4.5 years in Noida. So I think we got that particular bit. Let's move to the same thing. I think a lot of things I've already covered. क्या क्या चीजों का आपका ध्यान रखना चाहिए. एक तो मैंने आपको बताया था वेंडर का थोड़ा ध्यान रखना चाहिए. Select vendors who have done enough रूफटॉप इंस्टॉलेशंस, एंड मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली जिन्होंने हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज के साथ काम किया है. देखिए क्या है, घर पे सोलर लगाना ना बहुत डिफरेंट डायनामिक्स है. उसमें क्या है, ज्यादा हाइट रहती नहीं है, सिंपल सोल्यूशन होता है. इन हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी इज मच हायर, राइट? यू हैव एलिवेटेड स्ट्रक्चर्स, यू नीड टू क्रिएट अ मच मोर सेफर ऑपरेशनल वर्किंग एनवायरमेंट. घर में क्या है, एक दिन में सोलर लग के निकल जाता है. सोसाइटीज में पावर प्लांट्स बड़े होते हैं, लॉन्गर ऑपरेटिंग आवर्स होते हैं, हाइट पर रहता है, तो आपको ध्यान रहना चाहिए. चेक द फाइनेंशियल कंडीशंस ऑफ दीज प्लेयर्स ऑल्सो, क्योंकि एनी पर्सन दैट यू इन्वेस्टिंग, आप इतने लाख रुपए करोड़ों रुपए उस वेंडर को देने वाले हो, check whether that vendor will exist in this market for the next 5 years or not. Right? Does he have good, strong credentials or not? Does he have enough money to invest in the team? या वो किसी और को आपका प्लांट हैंड ओवर करके कर लेगा कि यार मैं तो सिर्फ क्लीनिंग ही करना था ना, मैंने किसी लोकल बंदे को दे दिया, वो कुछ भी क्लीनिंग करके आ रहा है, राइट? इफ इज नॉट इन्वेस्टेड इन remaining in this segment for a very long time, he is not invested in creating a good word of mouth, good brand image for himself, very highly likely that they will not take care of your plant, right? टेक्नोलॉजी सेफ्टी इंजीनियरिंग की हमने बात करी, व्हाट आर द स्टैंडर्ड्स टू बी फॉलोड. सम ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट यू शुड आस्क फॉर अ वेंडर, टेक लाइक अ जनरेशन कमिटमेंट फॉर 5 years कि भाई 5 साल का जनरेशन आप हमें कमिट करके दो. दैट is a one way of ensuring कि vendor uses good quality products for your plant. Second, absolutely check and demand a daily remote monitoring. What do we mean by daily remote monitoring? देखिए, आपके पावर प्लांट में सोलर लग जाएगा. आप शुरुआत में अपने फैसिलिटी मैनेजर को बोलोगे भाई तुम ट्रैक करो. वो कुछ टाइम ट्रैक करेगा, प्रॉब्ली फॉर अ मंथ, मैक्स टू मैक्स 2 months 3 months. उसके बाद आप ट्रैक करना छोड़ दोगे. बट लेट्स से 4 months डाउन द लाइन आपके सोलर स्ट्रक्चर पैनल्स में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आता है जिसकी वजह से थोड़ा प्रोडक्शन कम हो गया. नाउ unless somebody is monitoring it then and there, आपको कब पता चलेगा? जब महीने के एंड पे बहुत सारा आपका बिल आएगा. राइट. बट दैट इज अ लॉस टू द सोसाइटी, क्योंकि देर इज नो वे टू मेक अप फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर पीरियड. राइट. सो एनी डिसेंट सोलर कंपनी will have their own central maintenance team, their own monitoring team where they monitor a plant, ताकि कोई भी जनरेशन लॉस होने से पहले ही वो कैप्चर हो जाए. टेक कमिटमेंट्स ऑन स्पेयर्स रिपेयर्स रिप्लेसमेंट्स, लाइक आई सेड कि भाई your solar panels have long-term warranties of 12 years. Your inverters have a warranty from anywhere between 5 to 15 years, right? बट बाकी सिस्टम की वारंटी नहीं होती, उसमें कोई भी प्रोडक्ट वारंटी पे नहीं होता. वो आपकी केबल्स हो गए, स्पेयर फीडर्स हो गया, मल्टीपल थिंग्स, राइट? हाउ डू यू इंश्योर कि वो गुड क्वालिटी का हो, अच्छे से लगाया है, अच्छे से मेंटेन किया है? इज बाय पुटिंग द लायबिलिटी ऑन द वेंडर कि भाई कल कुछ भी खराब होता है तेरी कॉस्ट पे रिप्लेस होगा विद इन दिस टाइम, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू पे एनीथिंग फ्रॉम आवर पॉकेट, राइट? इट पुट्स अ प्रेशर ऑन द वेंडर टू डू द राइट बिट. More importantly, ask for quarterly preventive checkup. Like just with car, right? A car which is maintained well will have lesser breakdowns, right? उसमें problems ही कम आएगा. Similarly with solar power plants, as an industry practice, we generally advise कि every 3 months, our technical team should visit a plant and check everything, right? They should do a mechanical testing कि let's say हमारे structures में कुछ problem तो नहीं आ रहा है. All the modules performing well? Are all my connections very secure? There's no electricity current leakage happening, etc. This just ensures कि अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम होने वाला है आप उसको पहले ही से एड्रेस कर लें. बिकॉज लेट्स से इवन अगर कोई एसपीडी भी फेल होता है द कॉस्ट ऑफ दैट इज वेरी वेरी लो, मतलब हंड्रेड्स ऑफ रुपीज की बात है. बट उससे आपके पैनल अगर डैमेज हो गया तो उसका कॉस्ट बहुत हाई है, राइट? Cleaning, a very important part. Solar power plants depend on how much electric, sunlights are falling on them. उनका जितना अच्छे से क्लीनिंग होगा, प्रोफेशनल क्लीनिंग इज वेरी वेरी नेसेसरी. जैसा मैंने वेबिनार के शुरुआत में बताया था, इट इज नॉट समथिंग दैट अ लेमैन कैन डू फ्रॉम 2 reasons. पहला तो सेफ्टी एंड परफॉर्मेंस. थर्ड है, देखिए जब लेमैन के पास राइट इक्विपमेंट नहीं होंगे, व्हाट दे विल डू इज दे विल एंड अप लीनिंग ऑन द सोलर पैनल. वो सोलर पैनल पे हाथ रख रहे हैं. आप कई जगह देखोगे तो सोलर पैनल के ऊपर लोग चढ़ के सफाई कर रहे होते हैं. We have seen in that electroluminescence EL testing wala video the damage it can cause. So being aware, using the right tools, the right people with the right environment is very very necessary, right? Compliance की हमने बात करी कि कौन कौन से standards हमें ध्यान में रखने चाहिए. As we follow these things, things will be sorted. You will have a great experience with solar, right? Quickly take a break. Just give me 1 second. Also, I'll kind of take a just take a couple of minutes to drink some water and just.
Sure, Anshuman, in the meanwhile, I'll quickly run another poll. This is for all of you who are still with us on this webinar. We just wanted to know how soon are you planning to go solar with us? This is just so that we understand uh, how quickly would you be wanting solar installed, or how keen are you to go solar? Please do drop in your suggestions. From what I see at the moment, maximum people are looking to go solar in less than 30 days or in around 30 days. So that's fascinating.
Wow. I think a lot of
Yeah,
members today are really at the cusp. So we are doing this webinar right on time. So yeah. So generally, let's talk about the last bit, right? Ki what is generally the process that we advise societies to go solar? So generally, we say कि आप अपना सबसे first and foremost get an estimation on the capacity that you need to be installed on your solar power plant, right? आपके कंजम्पशन के हिसाब से आप कर सकते हैं। मैंने ह्यूरिस्टिक आपको बताया था, आप अपने मंथली कंजम्पशन को डिवाइड बाय 100 एंड यू विल गेट एन ओवरऑल नंबर ऑफ सोलर सिस्टम दैट यू वांट। मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली डू अ शैडो एनालिसिस डन। तो आप मेरे विंडो में नीचे देखेंगे देयर इज अ screen that is playing. This shadow profiling is very, very important. Now, a solar power plant cannot be installed under shadow, right? तो हर सोलर पावर प्लांट का शैडो एनालिसिस बहुत जरूरी है फॉर 12 मंथ्स, कि फ्रॉम जनवरी टिल दिसंबर किसी भी प्लांट पे शैडो ना आ रही हो। उस शैडो से दो प्रॉब्लम होगा, एक आपका जनरेशन इंपैक्ट करेगा, सेकेंडली आपके पैनल्स कैन गेट डैमेज्ड, राइट? The way to do it is to like map the whole solar system on a terrace. There are softwares available जिसके हिसाब से you look at the shadow profile on 2 days, 21st June and 21st June and 21st December, morning 10 a.m. and afternoon 3:30 p.m. तो अगर आप ये 4 कट्स पे अपना शेडो प्रोफाइल दे ले, देन यू नो कि यार मेरा शेडो आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है। जनरली व्हाट यू विल फाइंड इज, लेट्स से योर कंजम्पशन रिक्वायरमेंट इज लेट्स से 200 किलोवाट, बट शैडो फ्री एरिया आपके पास सिर्फ 150 160 किलोवाट का है। माय एडवाइस विल बी गो फॉर 150 160 किलोवाट। वो शैडो में सोलर लगाने से आपके पैनल्स कैन गेट डैमेज, उसका रेपरकशन कैन बी वेरी हाई। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड एवरी सोलर पैनल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स सिंपली स्पेसिफाइज कि आपके पैनल्स हैव टू बी इंस्टॉल्ड इन शैडो फ्री एरिया, अदरवाइज द वारंटी गेट्स डैमेज, राइट? तो एक बार आपने लेट्स से कंजम्पशन देख लिया, आपने देख लिया कि मेरे छत पे कितना सोलर लग सकता है, देन जनरली टेक अ बजट, preliminary budget, get an approval in the AGM ki should we go solar or not. Once that is done, generally the committee members create a RFQ, which is basically capturing all the minimum requirements that they want, and place it against multiple vendors जिनको आप वो सारा का सारा share कर देते हैं, and then every vendor can come and give you that. The reason this is important is so that you have a very apple to apple comparison, is very easy for the society to make. Everybody is coming on a same this thing. You can prepare different weightages for different parameters. तो कंपनी के बैकग्राउंड पे, उसके रेफरेंसेस पे, वर्ड ऑफ माउथ पे आप कुछ वेटेज डाल सकते हैं। सम वेटेज ऑन द टेक्नोलॉजी दैट दे हैव गिवन, सम वेटेज ऑन द फाइनेंशियल्स दैट दे हैव, मतलब प्राइस दैट दे हैव गिवन, सम वेटेज ऑन द साइट विजिट्स जो आपने करी हैं। सो वन ऑफ द रिकमेंडेशन आई डू इज ऑलवेज डू साइट विजिट्स ऑफ सम ओल्ड प्लांट्स ऑफ वेंडर्स। सोलर 25 साल का प्रोडक्ट है, तो देखिए पहले 6 महीने 1 साल में तो जनरली इतने इश्यूज आएंगे नहीं। issues will come after 2 3 years, right? So generally visit at least 1 or 2 society of the vendors, go talk to the MC members, ask कि भाई generation कैसा चल रहा है, ask them कि इसका डाउन टाइम आता है क्या, has the vendor been able to give the service that he had committed, because you're looking at a very long term engagement with vendors. Solar एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट नहीं है कि एक बार आप खरीद के लेके आ गए बस, right? Just like with elevator lift, right? Like a lot of societies face issues कि वो elevators lift खराब होते रहते हैं, तो वो सर्विस नहीं होता है, बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट होता है। Same is with solar. So keep these things in mind, create an RFQ, float it, give it to 3 4 vendors to quote. जब आपको quotations आ जाएंगे vendor के, then do a one-on-one meetings with these vendors, shortlist this, do a site visit, है ना, check whether what the vendor has committed, has he actually installed on other sites or not. Like say if I am a vendor, if Anshuman is coming to you and saying yeah, I do this, but you go and see the sites and say he has not done this in those particular sites, that is a big red flag. So keep these things in check, right? And then of course, basis that you can take a final, call on which vendor to choose. Because a lot of our members ask for this, what we have done is, जो भी हमारा टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट्स है, जो मैंने पहले आपको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स बताए थे सेफ्टी के पर्सपेक्टिव से, वी हैव क्रिएटेड सैंपल आरएफक्यूज, है ना? वो सैंपल आरएफक्यूज है, दे हैव नथिंग टू डू विद सोलर स्क्वायर. We will share with you at the end of webinar. We anyway share. You can use that as a starting point and you can make any changes that you want, right? But it will capture most of the technical stuff that you have to keep in mind. So you can use that, create your own RFQ. उससे बेनिफिट क्या होता है, लेटर ऑन डिसीजन मेकिंग आसान होता है, सब्जेक्टिविटी थोड़ी कम हो जाती है. सो दैट सेव्स अ लॉट ऑफ योर बैंडविड्थ गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, राइट? So primarily now I'll quickly take the last 5 10 minutes. I think we have overrun by 30 minutes already. Very happy that most of us are still here. quickly tell you what makes SolarSquare special, right? So SolarSquare over the last 10 years, we have focused extensively on safety, quality, and performance, right? And that is why SolarSquare is the only solar company whose power plants have been certified by international agencies. So आप अपनी screen पे देखेंगे names like TUV. Now TUV is a 150-year-old US agency which certifies, aeroplanes, Boeing, Apple products in terms of their performance quality. We have our commercial as well as housing society plants which have been certified by them, that these plants adhere to international standards. Same is with TUV. TUV CERT is a German certification agency. Our biggest plant in Pune, at a society called Godrej Infinity, they had, given, a few lakh rupees to TUV CERT to act as consultant from their end. They also gave a certification and top marks to SolarSquare. We adhered not only to Indian standard but all international standards as well. CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, has for the past few years rated SolarSquare as the best when it comes to safety and performance for large national players. Our structures, which is a very key component, जिसकी मैंने बहुत बात करी, these have been certified by IIT Bombay for high storm winds. So our structures are designed and certified by IIT Bombay for wind speeds of above 170 kilometers per hour for 25 years. So taking back, I told you कि मुंबई में जो dust storm आया था, that was 70 kilometers per hour. All our solar structures are designed for 170 kilometers per hour, which is above India के threshold. India का threshold is 150. We do it for international standards for 170 kilometers per hour. मैंने बात करी थी इंस्पेक्शन मॉड्यूल्स की. ये क्वेश्चन भी आया था कि सोलर स्क्वायर पैनल्स कैसे लेता है. सो वी वर्क विद अ लॉट ऑफ OEMs. जनरली वी बेसिकली डू नॉट बाय एनीथिंग फ्रॉम डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, क्योंकि हमें पता नहीं है कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास माल आया कैसे है, हाउ इज ही ट्रांसपोर्टेड इट, हाउ इज ही स्टोर्ड इट, हाउ इज ही हैंडल्ड इट, वी हैव नो क्लू. So SolarSquare gets all its panels manufactured directly from OEMs, where SolarSquare's own technical team is present on the factory floor and tests each and every solar panel, right? We do not do any sampling testing. Each and every solar panel is tested. There are more than 150 checkpoints that we check in a solar panel, including the EL testing. Any solar panel जिसपे हमें doubts मिलता है, we reject it on the factory floor itself, right? And from the factory floor, these panels directly come to your site, right? So there is no middleman, nothing which creates issues. This is what we do. This happens on a monthly level. So all your solar panels are done. So you can see some of these sample reports and tests that we can do, right? आपको यहाँ पे defects मिलते हैं, तो we reject these panels on the factory floor itself. वो आपके पास आने ही नहीं देते हैं. This is not just that, the manufacturer does. We also do it in front of the manufacturer because we have to commit performance to you. We have to ensure कल आपको issues ना है. We spend so much time and energy in ensuring you get the best products. Talking about our structures, this is what our structures are. These are under patent. These are called WindPro mount. These are modular in nature. IKEA like products है. आपकी साइट पे कोई वेल्डिंग नहीं होती है, कोई मैनुअल वर्क नहीं होता है. Like I said, ये डिजाइन ऑलरेडी अप्रूव्ड IIT बॉम्बे से. These are manufactured in one place. ये सारा आपकी छत पे they are transported. They are just connected by nut and bolt. The level of thought and design that has gone into this, मैं आपको वो भी बताता हूँ. So you can see these rafters and purlins, right? जो modules को support दे रहे हैं. Now depending on the height, the elevation and the angle, उनका strength different होता है. Every column and every rafter and purlin in our structure can only be assembled in one particular, system. This is a Japanese philosophy called Pokayoke, which is basically saying donkey proofing your installation. Because we do installation, either our structures are assembled in one correct sequence or they cannot be assembled at all, right? That is the level of care and thought that we have built. Like I said, we are the only solar companies in India which uses virgin steel. So we buy drum rows of virgin steel coils from JSW, Tata, and then they are, molded into these structures. We use Hilti chemical anchoring to ensure आपको कल water leakage का issue ना हो. Right? Another thing, SolarSquare for all its customers gives 5 years of maintenance free of cost. In that maintenance, we generally provide 4 things. One is quarterly preventive checkup, जो मैंने बोला जिसमें हमारी टीम आती है, सारे प्लांट का चेकअप करती है. Submit that report to you also. Every 15 days, fortnightly cleaning is something that our team does. We have our own in-house technical team जो सारे हमारे customers को cater करती है. Third thing we do is daily remote monitoring. We have our own in-house AI segment and people team involved who monitor all our plant on a daily basis. तो कहीं पे अगर Wi-Fi issue हो गया and data is not even transmitted, we ourselves, connect with societies to put up everything in place. Fourth and foremost is we give you a generation guarantee. तो SolarSquare to its customers gives a generation guarantee for 5 years. So जैसे मैंने आपको बताया आपका break even ranges from 2 to 3.5 to 4.5 years. That break even is dependent on A आपका plant कितने unit of generation बनाता है, second is tariff. इंडिया में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी टैरिफ कम तो होने नहीं वाला, हमेशा बढ़ता ही है. तो दैट पार्ट इज टेकन केयर बाय द गवर्नमेंट. जनरेशन का कमिटमेंट सोलर स्क्वायर टेक्स. What it ensures is कि you have at least a minimum savings guaranteed as part of your project. What it ensures is Solar Square is putting its neck on the line to ensure that your plant is of very high quality, it has very high performance, it has a very plant uptime. आपकी चीजें ब्रेक डाउन ना हो, दे डोंट फेल, बिकॉज अगर वो फेल हो गई तो फिर जनरेशन नहीं होगा तो सोलर स्क्वायर विल हैव टू पे, राइट. एंड दिस इज वेयर आई सेड ऑल आवर टीम्स आर सेटअप, इसीलिए हम सारी चीजें इन हाउस करते हैं, बिकॉज वी वांट टू कंट्रोल द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ योर प्लांट, वी वांट टू गिव यू द बेस्ट आउटकम, राइट. ये देखिए आपका क्लीनिंग का है, सो जस्ट एन एग्जांपल ऑफ हाउ आवर टीम ट्रेन, सो यू सी देम, इवन द ब्रश दैट वी यूज, it's a nylon Bristol brush from a German brand, which ensures ki you have very clean, plants do not have any dust accumulation, even chemical accumulation. Secondly, there are no scratches that come on your panel. So these are the things that we take care of. Zero investment plan is the loan program. So like I said, we work with multiple banks and NBFCs to ensure funding for your societies. So that is something that once you engage with our team members, they will be able to take you through. The workaround is basically the same. जो आपका डाउन पेमेंट है वो आपके सब्सिडी से कवर हो जाता है, जो आपकी मंथली ईएमआई है वो आपकी मंथली सेविंग से कवर हो जाती है. सो यू डोंट हैव टू पे एनीथिंग cash flow wise, and that's why we call it a zero investment plan. So yeah, so that brings us to the end of this segment. I'm so sorry I overran a bit, but we got like a bunch of lovely questions. In the end, if you have any questions, this is a time where we can just, spend some time to, answer all the pending questions if there are any.
Yeah. So, Anshuman, I'll take you through all the pending questions that are in our Q&A section. Uh, Mayurji is asking, when will SolarSquare in Ahilyanagar begin operations?
So, Mayur ji, you can share your decision. So, देखिए क्या है, अहिल्यानगर में we do not do projects, small projects everywhere, क्योंकि हमें अपनी पूरी टीम सेटअप करनी पड़ती है. We do not onboard clients till the time I know I will be able to service them in the shortest duration time, right? But we already have a few plans there. अगर आपका housing society and that housing society's requirement is more than 50 kilowatts, then we will be able to cater to it. For sizes below 50 kilowatts, अभी हम cater नहीं करते, but most probably in 3 months time we'll cater. But anyway, if your requirement is above 50 kilowatt, we'll cater to it immediately.
Then we have an anonymous attendee who's asking, which brands do you work with? So I'm guessing this makes it kind of vague, but
We work with, like I said, with solar panels for DCR, we work with the biggest solar cell manufacturer in India called Premier Energies. They are the largest exporter of solar cells to US. We work extensively with them. We get our panels manufactured through them. When it comes to inverters, we work with all three technologies of inverters: solar edge, Enphase, and string inverters. We are the biggest buyers of all these three segments in India when it comes to the residential segment. But I think आपका question will be mostly be with solar panels.
yeah. Kishorji is asking, calculations that you mentioned were for on-grid or with BESS?
On grid, yeah, I think we answered. These are on grid systems without battery.
All right. Anandji is asking, you have mentioned 700 kg RCC structure per kilowatt for non-penetrative.
Correct.
Okay.
So
So I think,
that is basically to give you enough, uh, you know, so that is basically for every square 120, I think per square meter, that's like 120 kgs that you have to kind of put up solar structure so that there's enough dead load in that.
awesome. Gopalji has asked two questions. I am going to club them both and ask you, how soon can we get site visit and detailed proposal? Since you do not have presence in NCR, how can we check your credentials?
So, sir, we do not have housing societies in NCR, but we have a lot of residential customers in NCR. We also have some commercial customers in NCR, right? So, in case of seeing the quality of our plants, we can arrange visits there. Primarily, Fesha, देखिए, we are a very standard company, right? All our processes, every product is similar. So we can help you, talk to a lot of our clients in other places. One day we have to start, right? So we are already engaged with a lot of societies in Delhi who will take decisions. But मेरा तो वो है कि the first society is always special. The first society में, the whole focus, we just want to do a landmark project in NCR. So we can help you talk to our management committee members across other societies in India. If you want to visit a plant, we can arrange it for residential customers. The structures are same, the service levels are the same, right? We can share you the generation data of our plants in Delhi. वो तो चाहे 3 किलोवाट का प्लांट हो या 300 किलोवाट का प्लांट हो तो पर किलोवाट जनरेशन यू कैन टेक अ रेफरेंस फॉर सो सर यही कर सकते हैं पहला पावर प्लांट तो लाइक आई सेड हाउसिंग सोसाइटी का ढूंढ ही रहे हम
All right. We have another anonymous attendee who is asking, which brands and panels are you working with right now?
Same as we mentioned with DCR, we generally work with Premier.
Awesome. Prabhakar ji is asking, what is the GST percentage?
So, sir, GST on solar is 13.8%, basically 12% on 70% of the value and 18% on the rest 30%. So, cumulatively 13.8% GST आता है.
Okay. Uh, Dandwate ji is asking, do you have any societies in Baner, Balewadi area in Pune where SolarSquare? So I'm assuming it's
Plenty of them, sir. Our main office is in Bane Square, Amar Business Park में है. Plenty of societies nearby where we would be very happy to arrange a site visit for you.
uh we have a more like a notification, which is our society has 88 flats and pay over 60K every 2 months. Does it come under your scope or is it too low for you to take it? We are in Tamil Nadu.
Sir, if you're in Chennai, yes, we'll undertake it. Currently in Tamil Nadu, we are only operational in Chennai. Like I said, I would love to service other parts, but we are more cautious. Primarily from the perspective that if I cannot provide you service in an instant, I don't want to like onboard you as a customer right away. So once we have the ability, will absolutely come. In Chennai, we are operational. If you're in Chennai, our team will definitely get in touch with you.
Prabhakar ji had earlier asked, and I'm not entirely sure of the context, but he asked, is this IoT supported?
सर यस IoT सपोर्टेड डिवाइसेस आते हैं यू हैव डेटा लॉगर्स आई थिंक किसी ने वो किया है, जिसकी वजह से दैट इज द वे वी आल्सो do the remote monitoring. So basically, we connect it to the Wi-Fi, your society Wi-Fi, and we also get access to it. You also get access to it. Allows us to monitor the plant.
Mitul Shah has asked, can we cover the society and the individual flat simultaneously?
Yes, we can, but generally होता क्या है, like I said, space constraint होता है. So mostly the first thing is to cover the society's expense. उसके अलावा if there's space and the residents agree, so you can also put up power plant for individual residents. There is no issue.
An anonymous attendee has asked, do you have many algorithm fixed in place, fixed in solar to maximize solar output?
So sir, MPPTs आते हैं. So we have our own AI success product, which helps us efficiently design the power plant and monitor the performance. So it
Jatin ji is asking, is structural engineers certificate required?
सर टेक्निकली नॉट रिक्वायर्ड वी इंसिस्ट कि आप लीजिए है ना. मैंने बात किया था स्टार्ट रिपोर्ट वगैरह का. वेरी ज्यादा पैसा लगता नहीं है बट सेफ्टी के पर्सपेक्टिव से वी इंसिस्ट दैट यू टेक all solar square plants, like I said, are anyways IIT Bombay certified. They are also certified by one of India's biggest civil engineering from IIT Bombay gold medalist alumnus called Agami. But mandatory नहीं है, करना चाहिए क्योंकि बहुत crucial part है वो structures का, right, to maintain from safety perspective.
We have an anonymous attendee asking, any plans to expand operation in cities like Uttar Pradesh, Ballia?
तो सर बलिया में तो अभी हम है नहीं. इन यूपी वी आर करेंटली इन वाराणसी, लखनऊ, कानपुर. We are planning to open up Agra and Meerut also. Currently, Bhalia में हम नहीं है.
What is the load required for non-drilling solar system on our terrace?
So sir, वो the exact calculation depends on the city that you're in, क्योंकि हर city का wind zone अलग होता है. So for example, Pune has a higher wind zone than Bangalore, right? So Bangalore comes in a 38 meter per second wind zone, whereas Pune comes at a 49 meter per second wind zone. तो एक ये पैरामीटर आता है. The second parameter is the height. So let's say you are a G+10 society or a G+30 society. तो उसके जैसे भी कैलकुलेशन थोड़ा होता है. The standard to calculate is a same standard called IS 8753 part 3. So उसके basis में it will differ from place to place. But anyway, it will not, it will be a very substantial block क्योंकि आपको mother slab को वो कर रहा है. My general suggestion is until unless आपकी society is very old and it is already facing, water leakage issues, go with penetrative method with chemical anchoring.
Awesome. We have some interesting questions as well, wherein an attendee has asked, what do you think about your competitors?
So should I answer that online or tricky question, right? So the solar industry in India, solar is like India is a very big country, right? My first and foremost thing is I want competitors who do good quality work, right? मेरा सबसे बड़ा fear ये रहता है when I see poor quality solar is that it will give a bad rap to solar industry, right? It will make people not go solar. Solar is a very good product. It is a very safe product. हमें बस थोड़ा quality conscious होना है. We need to demand the right things and it works wonders, right? Like everybody's adopting solar. We are an energy starved country, right? A lot of our money goes into exporting coal. SolarSquare, अगर आप SolarSquare की कंपनी में लोगों को देखेंगे, our average age in SolarSquare is around 30 years. All our top management is anywhere between 38 to 32 years old. So all of us are very, very young. We have invested our time, our life behind the mission of making India solar, right? So I would love if a lot of our competitors start doing really good quality work. मेरे को इतना वो नहीं आता है. Unfortunately, क्योंकि इतना अनऑर्गेनाइज मार्केट है, मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन इतना है. कुछ लोगों की नियत में कमी होती है, कुछ लोगों की कैपेबिलिटी में कमी होती है, टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड से नहीं है. कुछ लोगों के पास इतना फंड ही नहीं है कि वो टीम पे इन्वेस्ट कर पाए, राइट? So we generally help a lot of these companies also in terms of education and etc. Right? I want good competitors to come in. I want companies to come and educate customers clearly. So I to clearly, look forward to it. Unfortunately, ऐसा है नहीं आज की डेट पे. That is as far as I'll go in this session, but we'll share more of my thoughts on a one-on-one session, I guess.
It's absolutely well answered, Anshuman, and I totally believe in this cause as well, which is why we're all on board with this. But yeah, moving on, we have Sudhakar ji who's asking, do you have any arrangements where society go for solar without physically setting up in the society? I mean, remotely, is it possible?
So, Sahaki ji, there is this process जो आया है where society can put up solar in some other space and take electricity from them. The guidelines around it are not very clear yet, right? क्योंकि उसमें क्या है, आपको लैंड किसके साथ लेना है, एग्रीमेंट किसके साथ करना है, फिर देयर इज अ ट्रांसमिशन कॉस्ट एज वेल बिकॉज यू यूज ग्रिड. तो पॉलिसी लेवल पे आ गया है, ग्राउंड लेवल पे अभी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की क्लैरिटी नहीं है. एनीवेज द ब्रेक इवन फॉर सच प्रोडक्ट्स विल बी लोअर बिकॉज यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट समबडीज लैंड, वो अपना कट लेगा, फिर आपको ट्रांसमिशन के पैसे पे करने पड़ेंगे. द बेस्ट यूटिलाइजेशन इज ऑन योर ओन टेरेस. आपके कंट्रोल में आपका पावर प्लांट है, आप देख सकते हो, मैनेज कर सकते हो.
BSNL is asking, we have our AGM on 20th April. Is it possible for you to prepare viability report on zero investment scheme in this short period? We are in Chennai.
Absolutely, sir. What today is 23rd. What we'll do is we'll set up. If you are available tomorrow, we'll ask our team to meet you. We will. So there are 3-4 processes that SolarSquare does. So first we meet you to understand your requirement. So we will need your electricity bills. We will need your Google location. First and foremost, we send our engineer to do the site visit. तो क्या है, हम आपका shadow analysis कर पाते हैं. The shadow analysis that I was talking about, right? To ensure कि what is the capacity that we can install, it is not under shadow. Once that is done, we then basically come up with a basic proposal. We do a ZIP proposal and everything. So all of that can be done within this segment. We'll just need time from your end, sir. So Gavin, I hope you have taken the requirement. We'll connect, sir, with the team.
Definitely, I have dropped in a text asking them to drop in their details. As soon as I have them, I'll definitely push it inwards. Do An anonymous attendee is asking, do you have presence in Ahmedabad? What is the average production of electricity per year in Ahmedabad?
So, sir, we are present in Ahmedabad. We've been present for the last 4 years now. In Ahmedabad, because it's a sun city, so you generally see generation of 1450 units per kilowatt. The only problem I would mention about Ahmedabad is till 2022, 93% of India's residential solar was just in Gujarat. And उसमें से भी majority was in Ahmedabad and Vadodara. However, the quality of solar in Gujarat leaves a lot to be desired, sir. तो वहाँ पे बहुत मैंने देखा है स्ट्रक्चर्स के साथ मैं खुश नहीं हूँ बट वी हैव बीन प्रेजेंट फॉर द लास्ट 4 years विल बी वेरी हैप्पी टू एंगेज विद यू जनरेशन मैंने बताया आपको 1450 यूनिट्स आपको आराम से गुजरात में मिल जाएगा
We have Kishorji who just dropped in to ask where to have inverters, how much space required for 100 kilowatt plant.
सो सर 100 किलोवाट प्लांट के लिए जनरली यू नीड अराउंड 90 स्क्वायर फुट ऑफ शेडो फ्री एरिया राइट फॉर बिग प्लांट्स द इन्वर्टर इज जनरली इंस्टॉल्ड नियर द टेरेस इटसेल्फ क्योंकि आप solar panels produce DC electricity, it comes to inverter, and from inverter it goes to your mains. So the main losses of performance happens on the DC side. तो हम वो DC केबल की लेंथ कम करना चाहते हैं. We cap that loss to less than 2%. So the inverters are generally installed in the Mumty area of terrace itself, so that they're protected from rain, heat, etc.
All right, we got the contact name for our lead in Chennai, so I will definitely make that happen for you guys. Yes, and finally, Anshuman, we have a question which is board running bill not considered for subsidy in society and main expenses board bill. So I'm guessing this is less of a question and more of a issue. So
Could you repeat that? I didn't get the context.
yeah, this is how it's framed. It is board running bill not considered for subsidy in society and main expenses board bill. Uh,
Sir, it basically depends on the classification of the meter connection that you have taken. If your meter connection is LT1, LT2, 1.2, so you will apply for subsidy. आपको आ जाएगा. बट कई सोसाइटीज में वो कमर्शियल के अंदर टैग्ड होता है तो सब सब्सिडी नहीं आता है.
Awesome. So Anshuman, we are actually done with all the Q&As, all the questions done here. And thank you so much for so
Again,
patiently
thank you
answering
so
all of
much for
them.
taking time out on Sunday. They हम like this is our mission, life mission तो हम तो रहती है but for a housing society member when you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for everybody else. Really appreciate your time. Do engage with us. Our team will reach out to us. Uh, I have a central number. I'm part and parcel of every customer group that is ever made, every interaction that happens. So happy to engage. Uh, you know, like I said, first and foremost, please go solar, right? Whether it's with SolarSquare with anybody else, please go solar. Please go solar with good solar. It's a great initiative. We are penetration in India is one of the lowest in the world. We have lesser solar penetration even than Brazil, China से तो बहुत पीछे है. It's a great initiative for nation building. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Gavin, for being a wonderful host.
Thank you so much,
Keep doing
Anshuman.
this every fortnight. So in case some your people in your community nearby other societies want to engage, please ask them to register. We keep doing this on a fortnightly basis. If there are other things that you would like us to cover in this webinar, do let us know as well. Right? We'll keep looking forward to your feedback. If there are some things that you want to do just on solar panels or just on inverter technologies, etc., we can also do more specific focus webinars for everyone. Thank you so much once again. Have a lovely day. Looking forward to
Thanks a
this.
lot. Thanks everyone. So this is where we end the session, and thank you so much, everyone.
Also, you can expect on your registered mobile number and email, we will send the RFQs as well to you. We'll
Yes.
also send a link of this webinar video to everyone.
Absolutely. Also, for those of you interested and want a better viewing platform, this webinar will soon be available on our YouTube channel as well. So you can view it at your own pace and convenience and device that you love. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. And thank you so much, Anshuman, once again, for carving some time out for all of us. And with this, we hope that we take things forward and take things solar as efficiently as you discussed. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye bye.